Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I know some of you may be on spring break, so I hope you're enjoying your spring break with your children. I'm not going to stay on long. I just want to educate you really quick on some things that you may not know that causes people who are leading their nonprofits to jeopardize their status. There are a few things that the IRS will definitely take your IRS tax exempt status for. So I want to talk about those 5 things really quickly. But before I get started, I want to remind you, if you have not done so already, if you are available next week, the 12th through the 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a free workshop to help you with managing your nonprofit next week. If you know any nonprofit leaders, make sure that you are telling them about the workshop, okay? So I definitely want you all to sign up, have your friends who are in the nonprofit world sign up for the workshop next week. It is free. So tell anybody, invite any nonprofit leaders that you know may benefit from that, invite them to the group so that they can be a part of the free workshop as well. So I want to get started. So the first thing that can cause someone to jeopardize their nonprofit status is private benefit. No nonprofit is supposed to have private benefits for any of the board members, for any of the founders or employees. No one in the nonprofit is supposed to solely benefit, whether it's from assets, whether it's from income. They should not directly benefit. So it's prohibited for nonprofits to be allowed to have income or assets benefit any insiders of the nonprofits. No board members, no top executives, none of that. The purpose of a nonprofit is to execute the mission. So make sure that you're focusing on investing everything that you earn back into the purpose and the mission of the nonprofit. It should not benefit any of the assets, or the income should not benefit any of the insiders of the organization. It should have any private benefit. It should benefit the public by generating the purpose and the mission that you signed up for. Another thing is lobbying. Sometimes people use their status to get in front of people and they do lobbying. So they will tell their employees, they will tell their members, they'll tell the people that they come in contact in the public to go before legislators and help push laws and try to persuade them to propose and support laws that may support their mission, whether it's advocating or adopting or rejecting any legislation. So you cannot do that as a nonprofit leader. You cannot tell people who to vote for. You cannot tell them what to do as it comes to or relates to legislation. You can't say, go to the Hill and advocate for this and do this and tell this person to do that. Stay out of the politics as much as you can. Of course, you're going to have people who are executives, who are council people, board members, city officials supporting your organization. But know that you cannot lobby, especially on the behalf of your organization. You can't do that. So the first one was private benefit. No insider can have private benefit of assets or of income for the organization. And the second thing, you can't lobby. The third thing is unrelated business income. A lot of people don't even know what this is, and they get it confused when they say, well, you tell us that we have to have earned income. Right. You're supposed to have earned income, a way to be consistent in generating funds for your organization. But when I say unrelated business income, that means that you are doing practices that are not business related. So you may be benefiting on selling property or benefiting on selling a vehicle that has nothing to do with your organization. You could benefit from selling land, has nothing to do. You can have unrelated business income. However, if they see on a consistent basis that you have unrelated business income coming into your nonprofit, they can revoke your nonprofit status and say that you are a for-profit, not a nonprofit. So if you're generating income, make sure that you can justify how that income is benefiting the mission and the purpose of your organization. You cannot have too much unrelated business income. So that's the third thing. The second thing was lobbying. The first thing was private benefit. You can't have those three things. The fourth thing is annual reporting obligations. Let me pull that up for you so you all can see it. If you do not submit your annual reporting obligations to the IRS, to your state, or if your local government requires you to submit paperwork, if you don't submit that stuff, you can have your status revoked. You do not want to jeopardize your nonprofit status because you did not turn in your paperwork. So please make sure that you come up with some type of system that allows you to turn in your annual reporting for the IRS, for your state entities, for your local government. And let me add, your grantors. A lot of grantors who are granting funding to your organization, if you don't turn in your annual reporting, they will take the funding, ask for the funding back, or not continue to fund you. So do not jeopardize your nonprofit status because you did not turn in your annual reporting. So you have annual reporting can jeopardize your nonprofit. Too much unrelated business income can jeopardize your nonprofit. Lobbying can jeopardize your nonprofit. And having private benefits of on the stream. But there we go. Okay, I'm back. So those are the things that you could jeopardize your status for if you do not turn in your annual reporting. You have too much unrelated business income, lobbying, private benefit of your employees, your founder, or your board members. And the last thing that can happen is you are bouncing around with the things that you do. A lot of people will submit their paperwork saying, hey, this is the purpose of my nonprofit. This is what we're doing. And then something happens and they don't amend it and they don't submit that paperwork to the IRS or tell anybody. And they're just operating, doing stuff that they never even intended on doing at first. So they never told the IRS or their state organizations that they were doing that. And when they find out, then they will revoke your status because they're saying you're not operating correctly. So make sure you are operating with the stated purpose that you submitted to the IRS. Do not do stuff just because it looks like it will generate money for you. Do not do stuff just because you see other people doing it. And do not do stuff just because you think you have this great idea. This goes back to what I preach all the time. Do not start a nonprofit just because you are passionate about a certain thing. Actually start a nonprofit because there's a need. So if there's a need and you're operating with the stated purpose that you submitted to the IRS, then you stick to that. That may look like different things each year because you may have new projects and new programs, but make sure that you didn't say that you were going to help the elderly, but now you're doing something with cars, because the IRS is going to say that that is fishy. So make sure that you are operating with the stated purpose that you gave the IRS when you submitted your paperwork. So I'm going to go back really quickly before I end the live and let you all know what the 5 things are that could jeopardize your nonprofit status. The first thing is private benefit. Make sure that your conflict of interest policy is being executed and you don't have any board members or founders benefiting from the assets or the income of the organization. Make sure that your organization is not lobbying and telling your members, your board members, your people who you serve. Make sure you're not telling them to go to legislators and advocate and try to change laws on the behalf of your organization. You cannot do that. That is illegal, and they will take your nonprofit status if they find out you're doing that. Having too much unrelated business income will throw up a red flag to the IRS for audits. Make sure that you're not doing that. Make sure you're submitting all your annual reportings where it comes to the IRS, your state entities, your local entities, and even your grantors. And then lastly, like I mentioned before, make sure you're operating with the stated purpose that you intended your nonprofit to have. So I really hope this helped you all. If you need more information, make sure you are here next week. Make sure you are here next week for the free workshop. I will help you with different tips and tools that will help you maintain a thriving nonprofit. I want to be able to support all of you through this nonprofit maintenance workshop. So make sure that you are here. Make sure you're telling your friends and inviting them to the groups. If you know any nonprofit leaders or even someone who wants to start their nonprofit, invite them to the group so that they can benefit from this free workshop. Again, the workshop is at noon Eastern Standard Time on April 12th through the 15th. I hope that I get to see you all there. So make sure you mark your calendars and be ready to learn and take notes. I hope you have a happy Tuesday. And I pray that this information was beneficial for you. If you don't already practice these things, I hope this helps you get these practices in place so that you can maintain a thriving nonprofit. Thank you all for listening and have a happy